Can art be offensive? The exhibition that shocked the art world. Glass smashed, protest, 3 members resigned.
It's plainly disturbing.
New York City Mayor at the time, Rudy Giuliani, called the exhibition sick stuff. Distasteful or a masterclass in PR?
The government could not penalize an institution because there was art in it that the government did not like.
And how artists use children's hands to recreate the most evil women in Britain. Was this art or attention-seeking and disregard for decency? Myra Hindley was an English serial killer. With her partner, Ian Brady, she murdered 5 children. The bodies of 2 of the victims were discovered in 1965 in graves dug on Saddleworth Moor. A 3rd grave was discovered there in 1987, more than 20 years after Brady and Hindley's trial. Hindley's brother-in-law reported the couple to police after witnessing Brady's murder of 17-year-old. Officers found the body at the couple's home and launched an investigation. They stood trial in 1966 and pleaded not guilty to 3 of the 5 murders. Brady was found guilty of 3 murders, and Hindley was found guilty of 2 murders, both sentenced to life.
She should be in prison and left there to rot because she shouldn't be on reserve at all. She should be tortured like she tortured them kids.
In 1970, Hindley broke all contact with Brady, and in 1987, she released a full confession to the media in her involvement in 5 murders. Characterized by the press as the most evil woman in Britain, Hindley made several appeals against her life sentence, claiming she was a reformed woman and no longer a danger to society, but she was never released. Hindley died of respiratory failure in 2002, aged 60. Brady was declared criminally insane in 1985. He never wants to be released. He has repeatedly asked that he be allowed to die. Ian Brady died of natural causes in 2017 at the age of 79. Sensation was an exhibition of a collection of contemporary art owned by Charles Saatchi, including many works by young British artists, which first took place September 18 to December 28, 1997, at the Royal Academy of Arts in London. The exhibition later toured in Berlin and the Brooklyn Museum in New York City. The Sensation exhibition included 110 works by 44 different artists and gave the art world a shock and the likes of which had not been felt in a long time. When exhibition opened at the Royal Academy, the reception was wild and caused media frenzy. Many of the works were already very well known to visitors, particularly Mark Quinn's iconic Self, a sculptural self-portrait made using pints of his own blood, and Damien Hirst's sculpture of a preserved tiger shark, the physical impossibility of death in the mind of someone living. Ron Mowick Dead Dad's sculpture, Sarah Lucas, 2 fried eggs and a kebab, Jake and Dinos Chapman, Tragic Anatomies. The BBC summed up the show as a collection of gory images of dismembered limbs and explicit pornography. 2 years after its first appearance at London's Royal Academy, Sensation skipped across the pond and was shown at New York's Brooklyn Museum. The mayor of New York at the time, Rudy Giuliani, was enraged by the work by Chris O'Feely entitled The Holy Virgin Mary, 1996. As a devout Roman Catholic, Giuliani sparked fierce debate by threatening to withdraw the Brooklyn Museum funding and filing a lawsuit for its eviction from the premises.
This whole shtick about this is not freedom of expression issue. This is an issue of people paying for our freedom of expression. Excuse me, that is the.
Today, Sensation is considered to be one of the most significant exhibitions of contemporary art in the 20th century. It also went down in history as one of the most controversial shows the art world ever saw. The controversies surrounding the show were myriad. Many were shocked by Chapman's pornogenetic sculptures, while others denounced the tent in which Tracy Emin had sewn the names of all the people she had slept with. However, it was an artwork that caused serious public outrage, resulting in protests and vandalization. Myra by Marcus Harvey. 9 feet by 11 feet. It resembles her black and white mugshot. The public were scandalized, a shock made worse by the manner of its making. The tiny image of child's handprints, stamped over and over again. Harvey had made casts of 2 toddlers' hands, which he had used himself to press paint onto the canvas. Harvey has commented, "I know enough to know that she probably didn't do any of the murders, that she was just in a relationship where she probably too attached to a man who was doing it to extricate herself." Winnie Johnson, mother of Hindley's victims, whose body remains missing, led protest in front of the museum calling for the removal of the work. After organizers refused, some of the Royal Academy's windows were smashed, and 2 visitors managed to throw ink and eggs at Harvey's painting. There was a strong opposition from within the Royal Academy too. 3 academics, Michael Sandel, Craigie Aitchison, and Anthony Green, resigned in protest. They were either opposed to Hindley's portrait or to what they regard as attention-seeking nature of the new exhibition itself.
Puerile and really is cheap, cynical sensationalism, you know, the elephant dung and all the Sarah Lucas rubbish with cucumbers as penises. I mean, give me a break, Sarah.
What's great about it?
What's great about it is I think you're false, and you can't really get a sense of that work in newspapers. You've got to see it. You've got to see it, and to see all those tiny handprints making up this face, which is so familiar, it's almost become meaningless.
Even Myra Hindley herself sent a letter from jail suggesting that her portrait to be removed from the exhibition, reasoning that such action was necessary because of the work was a sole disregard not only for the emotional pain and trauma that would inevitably be experienced by the families of the Moore's victims, but also the families of any child victim. One of the academics who did not support the painting of Myra in Sensation had said, "I'm not talking about censorship, it's about common decency. When there's a child buried in Saddleworth Moor, we should put decency before art." Some opinions considered the Myra's painting isn't bad, aesthetically at least. Morally, opinion is sharply divided. Harvey was accused of glorifying and glamorizing Hindley. Should decency come before art without distressing the victims' families? Because, to many, the artwork seemed motivated by the hunger for headlines rather than compassion for the children.